Hello and welcome to Mecha Anime Reviews, and today we're going to take a look at one of Tomino's most famous works from the 70s, Space Runaway Ideon. Warning, the review is going to be filled with spoilers, because of the subject matter. If you don't want to know anything, then I'll summarize it by saying, it's okay. If you don't care or you've already seen the series, then stick around. This anime is known mainly for two things. One, that it is a direct influence on Neon Genesis Evangelion, and second, its depressing and extremely violent ending that earned Tomino's nickname, Kill 'Em All Tomino. Marry robot action show my ass! The story starts out with an alien race known as Buff Clan arriving at the planet Solar. You can tell they're aliens because they're wearing 80s disco dancing outfits. Earl is the person in their clothes, pick your poison. They land and they find a colony developed by humans, and they're attempting to uncover a secret behind a group of machines that they have found. The Buff Clan attack the colony, causing the machines to join up and become the Ideon, powered by a strange energy known as the Eye, which the Buff Clan were looking for. The humans escape on a spaceship, and now they're on the run from the Buff Clan. Basically, it's Battlestar Galactica with a giant universe-killing robot, but I'll get to that part in a minute. The animation's pretty decent, for the time anyway. For the most part, it flows well and never looks too awful. The music is actually pretty good too. Not entirely memorable, but fits the moments well. The voice acting I won't comment on because once again there was never an English dub for it. But from what I can tell, the cast seems to be trying hard, so maybe it's good. But since I can't understand the language, I don't know. Its connection to Evangelion is an interesting one. Both shows have a giant robot that has the power of a god, although one only gained it at the end of Evangelion movie. The robots seem to work best when a child is involved. They have a subtle psychological effect on the protagonists, not to mention that the ultimate conclusion of the series revolves around the death of the entire cast and quite possibly the universe. But there are more subtle similarities, like how the episodes often revolve around the strategies of the heroes against the villains. There's also a vaguely dark tone in the idea that everything that happens in the series is actually part of a plan of the true antagonist of the series, the Ideon itself. For a force of altruism, it only uses the power whenever it feels like it. It's suggested that the Ideon has actually been playing around with the emotions and feelings of the crew, indirectly causing a lot of pain, anguish, death, especially at the end of Be Invoked, the true ending of the series. It seems to have a noble goal to end the suffering of mankind, but it accomplishes it by destroying everyone. Any plan that involves the destruction of the universe is already pushing the moral event horizon. Does it even care about humanity? Or is it just toying around with it? We'll never get a real answer. To be fair though, the ending seems to imply that the characters do actually go to heaven or something. It's part of a constant theme in Tomino's works, the idea that there's always some positive future outcome even with such a depressing ending. Unfortunately, it suffers from a few problems. Mainly, well, the characters. They're all generic, stereotypical characters that you would see in something like the original Gundam. Come to think of it, it also suffers from problems from that same show too, like the constant killing of characters to create angst, although this was largely caused by not being able to afford actors, forced melodrama, etc. The characters are pretty similar. They even have the same cast as the original Gundam. It has some weird designs for the enemy robots, and the Ideon itself just looks stupid. This doesn't look like a giant god that would destroy the universe. It's a GM from Zeta Gundam. It's hard to take seriously. Oh, and Kitty looks exactly like Camille Bidan. Don't really look at them. They could pass off as brother and sister, possibly gender-bent versions of each other. It's weird. So is Space Runaway Ideon good? Well, it's pretty average. There are a lot of pointless episodes they could have cut down, which they did in the first movie, and really, people only remembered the second movie for its ending, which, to be fair, is actually pretty well done. Finale. You actually feel sad over what happens, and feel joy at the very last few minutes. But it's also depressing. I can understand if you don't want to watch the show to avoid angst. Trust me, it's okay. The show is average, but Be Invoked is actually pretty good. I suggest you watch the compilation movie instead, since it pretty much does the same job as this show anyway. Oh well, see you next time on the next Mecha Anime Reviews. There's a theory I had that Neon Genesis Evangelion is actually an indirect prequel to Space Runaway Ideon. After Shinji rejects instrumentality, Evangelion Unit 1 is levitated into space, where Yui Ikari can live on as a symbol of humanity's existence. Many centuries later, she became tired of humanity acting like complete bastards, even though not all of them are bastards, but whatever, for the sake of this theory, we'll just use that as a basis, and decides to bring about instrumentality again. She accomplishes this by somehow changing forms and psychologically manipulating the crew, until at the end, she turns everyone into LCL. Mind you, it's pretty far-fetched, but I think it's a reasonable theory to make, though that would kind of make it Neon Apocalypse Ideon. Weird.